Welcome back to the Jack and Glenn channel. I'm Jackie.
I'm a husband, Glenn.
He's my husband, Glenn.
And we're not doing Married at First Sight this time. We're doing Love is Blind, which is a new Netflix show. A lot of you guys have left in the comment section wanted to see us review that. So we had time to sit down and watch Netflix, and we are going to review the first 3 episodes of Love is Blind. We're going to keep it in 3 episodes, and then we're also going to do the reunion show at the end. So we'll probably drop one of these one day, probably one of each day this week until we get to the reunion.
Yep. So, where do we start?
Man, let's start. The concept of the show is that they take a men group, have a woman group, and they put these groups in pods. And between them, there's a wall where, they can't see each other, but they can talk. The concept is that you don't have to see what a person looks like to fall in love with them. Mm-hmm. The couple eventually have to ask somebody to marry them. And then after they get married, they go on a excursion or a trip and get to know each other a little bit better. But before you can get out of the pod or get out of the house or wherever you want to stay at, you have to tell a person that you want to marry them. And they got to accept.
Yes.
So, pretty interesting concept, though. I think it is. It goes to the track. You can be attracted to somebody without actually seeing them.
Well, that's the point, is that a lot of people get caught up in what somebody looks like physically, and that might deter them from talking to someone or trying to date someone because it's not what they usually would like. Or people can get so wrapped up in physical appearance, they like someone's look so much that that's all they're focused on. So this gives all the couples a chance to get to know each other emotionally, connect mind-wise, and not be focused on her hair's too long or too short. It's not the right color. It's not the right eye color. They're not the right ethnicity or race even. He's too short. She's too tall.
He's too big.
She's too small. You made it rhyme.
You made it rhyme. But no, it gives a good concept. And so you can, as we watched the first 3 episodes, we saw these couples starting to create relationships just off of conversations. Mm-hmm. And we watched a little bit with my teenage daughter, and we try to have a conversation with her about why it's important for people to talk, not just text or Facebook or Instagram, but it's good to have conversation. And she watched and saw how people actually built relationships just off conversation. Mm-hmm. You know how you used to do when you were back in the day, you used to be on the phone talking to the girl. You sleep? I'm not asleep. But anyway, the phone conversation is good. So let's meet some of the couples.
All right, so first we're introduced to Jessica and Mark in the pod.
Yeah, Jessica and Mark.
Jessica and Mark in the pod, and Jessica is 34 and Mark is 24. Mm-hmm. So we got a 10-year age gap. She said, my younger brother is 5 years younger than me, and he's 5 years younger than my youngest brother. So she's like, oof, I don't know.
But they connected right off the bat, though, because they're both from Chicago.
Yeah, Illinois.
Both from Illinois. They both like the Cubbies. And so they like the Cubs. So they connected on that level with the Cubs, and they connected on the level with the Italian food and meat and everything like that. So it was good for them to be able to connect on that level from the beginning. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And they just really started vibing. But we get thrown for a loop with Jessica because then we're introduced to Barnett. And Barnett and Jessica are in the pods together, and they kind of hit it off.
Yeah, Jessica was hitting it off with a lot of people, and a lot of girls liked Barnett. And we go get into Barnett. Barnett had LC, he had Jessica, he had Amber, and these young ladies all enjoyed the conversation they had with Barnett. Barnett was a young man, Southern man, who could talk and who could give them, he connected with them emotionally.
Flirtatious.
Very flirtatious.
Just a tad bit perverted with this joke.
It wasn't perverted. I think they were a little quirky.
Well,
Amber
said it was. Yeah, Amber said it's a little perverted. It's kind of funny. But he was sweet. Overall, nice guy. And so a lot, like he said, LC, not to be confused with Elsie.
Yeah.
LC and Amber and Jessica. Started feeling Barnett. And they're way different.
Different. Amber's a cheerleader. She used to be in the Army. She come to find out that Amber had a baby that she ended up having an abortion by, but she was really connected to the guy who didn't want to be connected with her. So they all start having different personalities. LC, had a different personality from Jessica, and Jessica had a different personality from Amber, and they all got connected. And what was thrown in the mix there was Mark really fell in love with Jessica.
Yeah, he's really liking Jessica, and to me the trip part was, so Mark and Barnett,
Mm-hmm.
Mark and Barnett, they both know that they like Jessica.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, like, Amber and LC have no idea that Jessica is feeling Barnett. She hasn't. She ain't said nothing. Which you find out later. It's like, really, wow.
We gotta look at it as a game, though. You don't want to tell everybody who you feeling, because they may have an opportunity to go in and swoop your man or swoop your girl out from under you, and you don't know who they're talking to. So I think Jessica played this thing kind of smooth to try to keep it quiet about how she was feeling about Barnett. And so they were having some emotional challenges, and we see at the end, that he ended up breaking her heart.
Yeah, and I'm just going to say this, just for the record, we're reviewing episodes 1 through 3, so we're giving you everything for one couple at a time.
Yeah.
We're doing it all together, so. But, so Barnett broke Jessica's heart in that, 1 minute he was like, I could marry you tomorrow, we could be engaged. She says that at night, and then he goes back and he thinks about it, like, oh, I probably shouldn't have said that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. In the meantime, same thing with Jessica and Mark. Mark has not shown an interest in anybody.
Nobody.
He's like completely focused
all in
on Jessica. And so he lets Jessica know, and Jessica agrees, like, if he says, if I asked you, would you say yes? Yes, I'd be all in. Mm-hmm. But in the meantime, she's wrapped up in Barnett.
She wrapped him on Barnett, and
so she goes and she lets Mark down.
Yeah, she let Mark down, and Mark was crying. I mean, you see a lot of these guys showing emotion.
Well, he was crying. He was mad too.
He was mad. He was hurt. He like, it's about my age. What is it?
Mm-hmm.
And so then when she gets let down by Barnett, she runs back to Mark.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she runs back to Mark, and Mark, he takes her back because he goes thinking about what his mama says. If she's willing to come back to you.
Yeah, if you love something, you let it go.
You let it go.
And if it comes back to you, it's yours forever. Which is a different kind of thinking. Because I'm like this. I'm like, if I'm Mark, I'm like, homegirl, you straight dissed me. You dissed me. You went with somebody else. And mind you, again, Mark knows that Jessica's been dating Barnett as well.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows who it is. And I mean, Mark's like, he was mad. And then for her to come back, he told her, I'm not playing second fiddle. This it. Ain't no going back and forth. No. Ain't no going back and forth. And he takes her back just on the strength of, my mom said, if you love something, let it go, and if it comes back, it's yours. Which, in this case, I don't agree with it. Jessica's wishy-washy.
Yeah, she is, but he likes it. And when they met each other, they were kind of attracted to each other in a little bit. She didn't mind. She wanted to know what a 24-year-old looked like. And what does a 24-year-old look like?
She asked some people, what does a 24-year-old look like? And so she was pleasantly surprised. I'm thinking she probably thinking 24 years old. Yeah. He bare-faced, and he comes and he's got facial hair. She's like, oh, okay, he looks a little bit older.
Hispanic too, so I'm thinking she's looking for something different as well. But they enjoy conversation. They together. They go. They on their trip. They end up one of the couples to go to Mexico as well.
Yeah. I did want to add that as a side note, she does still express concern about the age difference. Mm-hmm. And then when they actually met each other, because they did get engaged, he asked her, will you marry me? They got engaged on the other side of the wall, and then they met in person. And off to the, her side conversation, she was like, well, he is a little bit shorter than I usually like. Mm-hmm. He's not as big as I usually like. So I think the physical is throwing her off a little bit.
It's creeping in with her. It's creeping in with her. And so since she left Barnett found someone, mm-hmm. and LC thought she was the girl. She thought she was the one. She thought, Barnett was going to be like, yo, let's get married, let's be engaged. But he comes in, he played the ukulele for her. She really felt they had a connection. They was both quirky with each other, but he kind of let her down. And he disappointed her, and she was hot. I can't play these games with you. You always doing guys always take me up to this point, and they don't. She was heartbroken.
Yeah.
Because she thought she was a shoo-in, especially Jessica coming back telling about she's getting married. She's gonna marry Mark. So she thought LC thought she was it. But I really think the story Amber told about the abortion and the boyfriend and how she feels about herself really put him over there.
Yeah, because mind you, in these pods, you're supposed to get really personal. And that was one personal thing that Amber shared. It was that, I got pregnant, and the guy that I was pregnant by, he wasn't really feeling it. He wasn't there for me. And she had an abortion, and that's something that's really emotional for her. And, she just kind of bared herself, because that's not necessarily something you would share on the front end of dating somebody. But, they're getting real intense in these conversations, spending hours at a time talking to each other in the pod. So I think it did. I think that sealed the deal for him. I think it did.
And when she meets Barnett, she is totally attracted. She's totally all in. They have a long kiss. She's like, don't want to leave. She is all in. If she could have just dropped it on him right then and there, she would have gave it to him. She was like, he's smoking hot. She's all for it. And he's feeling her too. He's feeling her too. They was ready to rock. Yeah. She was ready to go.
Yeah.
But, there was some other couples that hooked up as well.
Yes. Okay, so like we said, we watched it with our teenage daughter. Mm-hmm. And me and my teenage daughter, we were so feeling Lauren and Cameron.
Yeah, they were feeling Lauren and Cameron.
Yeah.
And they had great conversation. And I think Cameron is a Caucasian male. He is a scientist from Maine. Cameron is Cameron is a Caucasian male from scientist from Maine. Lauren is a content creator. And one thing about
she's African American.
She's African American, and their conversation was great. She was feeling them. They had great conversation, letting each other down, talking to each other. He's saying all the right things. She's saying all the right things, and it doesn't even matter about the race right now with these two, because they're so in tune with each other, which lets you know that if the walls are up, in this case the wall is up, and the conversation is good, and you can connect emotionally, it doesn't matter what race you are.
Yeah, and just bringing up their one being Caucasian and the other being African American, because one guy came in the pod and is talking to Lauren, and he was like, I could tell from your voice you're African American. She was like, what?
Already day one, first hour?
I'm actually white. So I thought that was funny, because the whole point of this is so you don't get into the physical and all like that. And she was like, Dag, let me X him out, because I didn't really like that. I didn't really care for that too much. So, they just got really, and I liked it, because I think with Lauren and Cameron, we saw more development with them. I know it's a reality show, but we saw more of them than we did. I guess was kind of tied with Barnett and Mark and that whole little
love triangle.
Pentagon.
Yeah,
it's 5 of them.
A little Pentagon. But one thing about Cameron and Lauren, that over that 4-day period, you can tell the deepness in their conversations.
Yeah.
You can tell that he was being true and she was being true. And I don't know how long they're in the pods for each day or each person, but they had so much communication that they knew a lot about each other. Mm-hmm. And that she was feeling him and he was feeling her. And that's one thing about relationships. If you have communication in relationships and you begin to talk, it's not too many things that you can't work out. And they didn't hold up any walls. And that's one thing I like about it too. There's no facade to put on. They didn't put a facade on. They were honest and open with each other, and that's why they were the first couple, in my opinion, to get engaged.
Yeah, and this experiment, I think more than, we love Married at First Sight, but I think this experiment really gives you the opportunity to see another side of intimacy, because everybody thinks intimacy is physical and sex, and this is intimacy like really into me where they get to see into each other. Lauren and Cameron, they cried together. He shared about his mom being diagnosed with Parkinson's, and he got choked up and she got choked up listening to him. It was just really sweet. And then for them to see each other, they weren't thrown at all. that she was African American and he was Caucasian, white. You know, it was just like he was like, she is beautiful, and he was like, she's beautiful, and she was like, oh, he's handsome. He's
handsome. He looks good. Know? But it's we know in today's society it's going to be something that comes up. Yeah. We're predicting something comes up in the next couple episodes.
But it showed in preview too.
And showed in preview. But this is something that I think they can make it. And I mean, we don't have any spoilers. I haven't looked on the internet for anything. I'm trying to watch it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to watch it truthfully and give you our honest opinion. I didn't look at anything. We haven't looked at anything on the internet, so we don't know how it's going to turn out. So Cameron and Lauren right now, I'm feeling them. I think they're a good couple. And
like I said, our teenage daughter was so feeling them.
Yeah.
She sat in a chair and she was just so moved and touched. We're like, are you crying?
Are you crying?
Are you crying with them crying? But it was sweet. But again, it gives her a chance in this age. She's 15, to see from a teenage perspective that it can be about something else besides physical and sliding in a DM and
the communication the key, and not that she doesn't get it from us because we communicate all the time. We talk
from boys because we all know little teenage boys can be silly.
Yeah, and everybody don't have a good upbringing. But anyway, move on to the next.
All right, who we go to next? Carlton and Diamond.
All
right, here's another.
And no, Diamond is not a stripper.
No, oh gosh, no! Please don't make that mistake because she did have a date with Barnett.
Yeah.
And Barnett said that he was like, "Oh, your name's Diamond." They had the whole stripper conversation. It's like, man, I couldn't stand it, and she really didn't care for him too much after that. She's like, I don't know what these girls see in him, but no, she is a professional basketball dancer. Yes, a professional basketball team's dancer. So, yes.
And so her and Carlton not hooked up, but they started talking, and Carlton revealed that he's the son of a preacher.
Mm-hmm.
That he grew up in the church. But he also revealed that he had a big secret, too, that he said he loves hearts.
Yes, he's attracted to hearts.
He's attracted to hearts, which means he's attracted to men and to women.
And he said he was fluid.
He was fluid.
He was very leery about in this process. Well, he shared that this is my past. This is what I have been into in his young adulthood. And he says, but I'm really at the point now where I feel like I want to, I want to settle down with a woman. I want that kind of relationship because I want to be married to a woman and have children with a woman. Mm-hmm. And his concern was, what if I really start liking someone and I have to tell them because I can't keep it to myself.
Yeah,
I have to tell them, and what if they don't accept me?
And that was his biggest dilemma throughout the whole show, even in all 3 episodes. That what if she doesn't accept him? What if she doesn't know? What if something happens? What if I pull my heart out and tell her I love her and we get in marriage and get engaged and I tell her this and she just leaves me right then and there? Diamond opened up with him about some of the things that's going on in her life, how she really wants somebody to be there for her, and how she, really cared for him, and how she's open. And we saw her compassion and love, for him. And she was waiting for him to say, I love you. And one thing about this couple is that when they saw each other, she wanted a guy with a bald head.
No, right. She loved it. She was like, I love guys with bald heads. Yeah. And here he comes with the bald head. She was like, I like his style. I like the way he dresses. And like we said, because they get to know each other so well in these pods, outside of the physical, even without facial expressions and all of that stuff, when they get to the point where, of course, they get engaged and they meet each other, and so they go on the couple's vacation, that, he's in the room and he's kind of wilding.
Yeah, he's
acting weird.
I felt bad. He acted like a teenage boy. He went good.
He did.
His conversation changed. The way he conversed was different. He started saying a lot more slang stuff. He's talking about punching. She like, punch what? Oh, he meant I meant punch out.
He's talking about to punch out, like clock out.
Clock out.
Not punch out.
You, but he was just going off. And
she's like, I'm gonna go chill. I don't know what this is. Yeah. But she had talked to him so much in the pod that it was like, this is not him. Something's not right.
And he felt nervous. He just was just jawing, trying to be something that he wasn't. Hat turned down backwards, like, yo, call me daddy. He had the daddy hat, just so really possessive. You can see the possessiveness that was there. and him, and and just couldn't handle it, and she knew something was wrong. So later on that night, they sat down beside the pool and they had a conversation, and he finally comes out and tells her,
He was like, and I feel like he just really kind of, it was like he was setting himself up. He says, if I tell you this, you might not want to talk to me anymore. It's like he automatically went negative, like, probably because I'm sure it's happened to him before.
Yeah. I just believe he should have told her in the pod. I'm sorry, I can't give him a pass.
Yeah.
I can't give him a pass. You don't ask a girl to marry you, and then you tell her that you used to be bisexual, fluid, or whatever. And especially in this show, he should have told her when they were in the pod, this is what's going on with me, this is what I've been through, and allow her to make a decision there. Not after you and already engaged, because now she kind of feel like she's kind of stuck.
Well,
he didn't give her opportunity that's when you tell her in the pod. You don't tell her where y'all in Mexico on the trip beside the pool.
I don't know if I would have said that in the pod, because you kind of want to deal with somebody face to face, telling them that kind of thing, and just so you can get a complete sense of what's what when you say it to them. So I can understand that. I don't understand the weirdness, the silliness, the teenage-ish behavior, but I know he was nervous about saying it. And her main concern, which is understandable, is, okay, so how do you know you just want to be with a woman now? How do I know you won't, go deal with a man? And he was like, see, that's what you don't understand. It's not about male and female. It's not about this or this, private areas. It's about this. I'm attracted to hearts. So that's not encouragement. I told my husband that's not encouragement to me, because then what you're saying too is then I need to be concerned about you going with a man or a woman.
But it's a valid question though, and he had to known in his mind that he was going to get that question.
He did. That's why he didn't want to say it.
But it's a valid question. She's worried. She's concerned. I guess for any woman, just from a flip side, a woman would be concerned if she knew her husband, or a husband would be concerned if he knew his wife used to like women. And so now she said, I'm going out with my girlfriend. You don't know if she's going out with a girlfriend as they going shopping, or going out with a girlfriend and going to dinner. I mean, it's one of those. But it's one of those things though that you are, if you are heterosexual and you're dating somebody who's been in that lifestyle, that you have worries. Or even in this case, you dating somebody who used to be a cheater. And
God knows it's a self-esteem. Yeah. It's a self-esteem. It could be a killer or a booster. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, he doesn't find me to be enough woman, so he has to either find another woman or find another man, or both.
But that's why, again, he should have told her while they was in the pod, so she could have made the decision and not feel like, and I don't know, we haven't watched past episode 3 to make it feel like she wasted her time. Because it could have been somebody else that she may not have to deal with this issue with, or she may not be at the point where she's ready to handle the issue.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm always saying, be honest in forefront before you get engaged. The conversation should have been had, because you talk about sexuality, you talk about sex, you talk about money, you talk about a lot of things when you're dating. I know this was over a day span and they spent a lot of hours together. That should have came up about sexuality in today's society.
Yeah, it probably should have, but I mean, he wasn't at the point where he was saying it.
Was at the point he said.
All right, so we've dealt with Carlton and Diamond. All right, some couples that hooked up that we saw just a little bit of. Yeah. We didn't get as much into them as the first the Pentagon, the Pentagon, Lauren and Cameron, and Carlton and Diamond. So, but we did get to see Giannina.
Yes.
And Damon,
and which is a good couple. Giannina's from Venezuela. She had issues when she was younger with her self-esteem and weight.
Yeah,
and
she got picked on from somewhere else.
From somewhere else and being a little bit heavy set. And she lost about 40 pounds. She said,
no, that's not her.
Oh, that's not. Oh, I'm mixing them up. Sorry.
Yeah, no, he was the one that was like small and frail.
Yeah, small and frail.
He's buffed up.
He's buffed up now.
Yeah. So they both kind of had that issue. We got picked on for different reasons, but we got picked on when we were younger, so they can relate to each other on that.
And finally he gets to the point where he works up to it and he loves it. He sends her a box, which is the empty box, and he said, "I got the bow, and the bow is not on the box, but." It's on me because I'm your gift. I'm the one that you want to be with, and I want to be with you. And so let me get on one knee and let me propose. Now, she did something, brothers, I'm sorry. I'm traditional. I'm traditional. I got on one. I didn't get on one knee, but I actually, it was cold
that's
outside.
just because we were sitting in the car.
Yeah, we sat in the car. It was cold outside.
And he didn't want to ask me in the restaurant because he knew I was
Yeah, I ain't gonna ask her in the restaurant. She was gonna holler and you cry, and we was that one of those type of restaurants. Anyway, but nonetheless, he asked her to marry him, and then she did something.
I mean, she paused.
She paused for a minute, long pause, and he got worried. He like, oh man. But then she like, stand up. I'm like, hold on, dog. Either one or two things gonna happen. Either she gonna say, I'm not gonna marry you.
Right.
Or she gonna get on one knee and ask him to marry her.
She's like, I don't believe in, the strict roles like, that we used to. So I'm gonna do something. And she gets down on her knee.
And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Y'all leave a comment in the comment section. I don't think a woman should be getting on the knee to ask a man. A man should be asking a woman for her hand in marriage.
I mean, the whole thing, it just made him so feminine to me. And because he's like, I mean, not that he did, but it was almost like, who me?
Like he felt like, and I understand, and he just felt, it just, I'm sorry, it's something about that I think the man should take responsibility and do that for the woman. But nonetheless, he accepted, she accepted, and they saw each other, and they really like what they saw. They get to Mexico, and this is the...
Wait, and don't forget that right there, she did again, like he got his ring.
Yeah.
She put the male engagement ring on him.
On him, yeah. So she's in charge already.
Yes, it kind of
seems like she's in charge. She run things. But they get to Mexico, and she just wants to jump his bones.
Because she said it's been, 435 days.
He
was like, 435 days, what? What you think?
What you think, dog? She been counting. He like, you count every day? She like, yeah. She like,
I believe she count every day because, listen, I believe some people, when they try to be celibate, it's like
prison sentence.
But you know how Alcoholics Anonymous say you gotta take it one day at a time, and they celebrate 30 days sobriety, 60 days sobriety. Right. She celebrated 30-day celibacy, 60-day celibacy. You know
Except
what I'm saying?
Except for day 325 when she went to the ocean and let the waves slap her butt.
Yes, she remembered.
She went to the ocean and let the waves slap her butt because she said that's how she liked
it. So she could remember
what it felt like. And you know what I like about Damon? He said he's gonna move at her pace. And whatever pace what you want to move at, we move. I don't want to hop in the bed and I want to get to know you. But if you want to jump my bone, he didn't say. He just said he's gonna move at her pace. I
feel like when somebody says I want to move at your pace, a lot of times they say that more when it's a female that you want to take your time with. I said, so what happens when you tell somebody I want to move at your pace and they are like,
quick,
this is my pace.
I guess you gotta move at their pace. You gotta hop on with them.
No, that is so uncalled for. In this case, I just feel like, it's almost like in Married at First Sight. You gotta be leery of that, jumping them bones too fast. And what also, some of these couples have been together or known each other for like 5 or 6 days. So it's not like it's been 30 days while they've been in the pod, but it's been 5 or 6 days that they've known each other. So it's been those type things. They getting and then seeing each other, so that now they have the emotional attraction just for communication. Now we see the physical attraction coming up, and no one disliked the person they're with. They all think they're attractive. That's been good.
That's been a good point. And unlike the other show we Married at First Sight, where they don't see each other, they have no physical attraction whatsoever and no communication skills. So
but I'm praying for Damien.
Yeah, Damien is.
Yeah, I don't
she gonna hurt him.
Gigi as they call her.
Gigi's gonna hurt Damien.
Giannia Milady.
So far I enjoy it.
We got one more couple too.
No, I enjoy the pod concept, and I enjoy the fact that now they're getting these couples to go together. My only issue is that when they get together, is Barnett and Jessica gonna have? Because she was so
into him. All the couples, because they all went to the same resort, same place.
My thing is, so when she hears Barnett or sees Barnett, is there going to be an issue, or are there going to be still some kind of attraction, something that's there? That's one.
Yeah, because she doesn't know what he looks like.
She doesn't know what he looks like.
She doesn't know what he looks like yet.
And he's bigger than Mark.
Yeah.
He's stronger than Mark. It looks like.
Oh yeah, that was the one thing that we laughed at too. Quite a few of the couples, when they met each other, the guy picked the girl up. And they made a comment, "We so strong."
So strong. He whirled him around.
Got muscles and stuff.
I work out a little bit.
Got muscles.
Work out. Get swole on him.
So, but anyway, then we had one last couple, Kenny and Kelly. Like again, it wasn't that much time we had spent on them, but they were cute.
Yeah, I mean, they showed attraction to each other. They like each other, had good conversation. The K and K connection. Hopefully, right now they didn't go into too much detail with Kenny and Kelly. It's just with another couple they had. So, hopefully, Kenny and Kelly can make an impact in the next 3 episodes. So we'll give you guys a little bit more information about Kenny and Kelly. But I enjoyed the show so far.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I want to add is when they got to Mexico, their clothes were matching.
Oh yeah.
You know, they sat down on the couch outside on the balcony. And, you know, they close and cuddled up, you know, one cuddle or whatever. And he says, you know, I count shoulders.
Yeah, like.
We like 1, count shoulders.
2, 3, 4.
I have never heard that before in my life. He said he was counting shoulders. So they got pretty close. It's a few couples. They got hot and heavy. You know, we didn't see a whole lot with them. You know, you could tell there's a attraction there from when they were in the pod and then when they finally saw each other. Because Kelly's the one that expressed that I hope he likes me because she had gained some weight before.
Yeah, Kelly's the one with weight, yes.
Yeah, she had gained some weight and she just didn't want him to be disappointed when he saw her. And he wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
I think, like my husband said, all the couples were like, okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't one that was like, whew, no.
And that's what you worry about, though. When you're talking to somebody and you haven't seen them, you worry about appearance. Whether it's Married at First Sight, whether it's Love is Blind, you want to know that the person that you're dealing with is attractive. You want to grow older together with somebody who's attractive. You want to have a conversation with somebody. You want somebody attractive on your arm. And so that's what, you know. And to you. Not to anybody else, to you. Because what you're attracted to, somebody else may not be attracted to. As long as that person looks good for you and y'all love each other, that's what really matters, though. Yeah.
So, we've run episodes 1, 2, and 3 all together. We got our 6 couples that were matched.
Yeah.
That's what, well, not matched, but they got engaged.
Yeah.
And so.
They're on their honeymoon. Well, not honeymoon. Not even the first night. They're on vacation. They're on a little vacation, get to know each other a little bit more, and then we'll see what happens in the next 3 episodes, and we'll review 4, 5, and 6 for you as well. And like I said, we'll drop each one of these episodes one day, tomorrow, the day after. So we have all 10 episodes plus the reunion show all together by the end of the week. Once again, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification. Make sure you tune in to the Love is Blind review. Make sure you tune in to the Married at First Sight review. And we appreciate you. Hit subscribe and the bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews.
Let us know what you think about Love is Blind. If we're like off with any couples, if we right on point. All right?
Yeah, let us know.
And who you like the best?
Yeah, who do you like the best?
All right.
Well, right now, Cameron and Lauren, my favorite.
Yeah, I like them. They're cute. But anyway, we'll see you next time. All right? Bye.